Fair use, grief, one day at a time, 365 meditations to help you heal after loss by Alan D. Wolfett, PhD. July 29th. Anger is just anger. It isn't good. It isn't bad. It just is. What you do with it is what matters. It's like anything else. You can use it to build or to destroy. You just have to make a choice. A quote from Jim Butcher. Many of us were raised to believe that anger is one of the bad emotions, but really, it's got just as much a right to show up as happiness, sadness, fear, or any other feeling. When we're feeling angry and grief, it tends to make other people uncomfortable. After all, anger can be assertive and loud. It can even be violent. While our anger isn't good or bad, what we do with it is what matters. We can use it to build or destroy. We can express and explore our anger by talking to others who care about us, not blaming or raging. If we feel the need to use our bodies to express our anger, we can turn to physical activities like sports or making art. We can choose to use our anger to build relationships, physical wellness, and self understanding. The meditation reads, "My anger needs constructive outlets." July 30th. Softness is not weakness. It takes courage to stay delicate in a world that is cruel. A quote from Bao Taplin. We are hurting because we understand the necessity of delicateness. Without a soft, delicate heart, we could not love. Yet it is this same soft, delicate heart that now grieves. Our softness makes us vulnerable to this often cruel world. It's true, but at the same time, it's the only thing that makes life worth living. Our softness is our strength. Our delicateness is our opportunity to heal and grow, laugh and love, and live fully the rest of our days. The meditation reads, "My heart is soft and delicate. It is the source of my hurt, but also my healing." July 31st. Spirituality leaps where science cannot yet follow, because science must always test and measure, and much of reality and human experience is unmeasurable. A quote from Starhawk. In other books, magazine articles, and websites, you might run across a philosophy and even studies that claims that humans are resilient and do not need to express their grief or receive support for it. The new science of grief, as it is sometimes called, essentially claims that people get over grief on their own over time and that grief naturally heals itself. But scientific findings can't really measure a soul based experience. What's more, scientific research on grief may well end up falsely affirming because of confirmation bias, our culture's tendency to avoid grief instead of befriending it. We do need to mourn our grief to heal it, and we do need and deserve the love and care of others along the way, including at times the lifeline of a grief support group and the companionship of a skilled grief counselor. To mourn is to find our way back to a life of joy and love. The meditation reads, "My grief is a spiritual journey of the heart and soul. I will remember this if others try to science my grief. August 1st. One thing you have to walk and create the way by your walking. You will not find a ready made path. It is not so cheap to reach to the ultimate realization of truth. You will have to create the path by walking yourself. The path is not ready made, lying there and waiting for you. It is just like the sky. The birds fly, but they don't leave any footprints. You cannot follow them. There are no footprints left behind. A quote from Osho. Each of us has to create our own path through the wilderness of our grief. Though others have gone before us, they inhibited their own unique wilderness. They created their own unique path. We have to walk. We create the way by our own walking. And so we look ahead, seeing no clear path. We only know we need to move. So we take a step, and that step helps us know when and how to take another. The meditation reads, I will create my path through grief by discovering and walking it myself. August 2nd. Faith and doubt are both needed, not as antagonists, but working side by side to take us around the unknown curve. A quote from Lillian Smith. Sometimes we mistakenly believe that we either have faith or don't. It actually almost never such a black and white either or duality. I have found that even the people with the strongest faith wrestle with doubts. Questioning God is okay. He can handle it. Conversely, I've also noticed that people who profess to have no faith often wander, question, and slip in and out of some form of belief. Agnostics believe that we can't know. They neither believe nor disbelieve. In this way, they are like tightrope walkers, holding out one arm into each realm for balance. Faith and doubt are complementary. Most of us will lean on both of them as they take us around the unknown curve. The meditation reads, my doubt and my faith are both normal and necessary. Regardless of the proportions I hold, I can trust that the mixture will take me around the unknown curve. August 3rd. Summer is the annual permission slip to be lazy, to do nothing and have it count for something, to lie in the grass and count the stars, to sit on a branch and study the clouds. A quote from Regina Brett. Here in America, we have a cultural bias against laziness. We are a country of doers instead of beers. We have bought into the fallacy that unless we are doing something, we are wasting time. Yet grief reminds us of the necessity of nothing doing. Our grief slows us down and makes us lethargic. Like the heat of August, it depletes our energy. It makes us lazy, and in the lassitude of grief, we do the necessary work of thinking our thoughts and feelings our feelings. Our inertia is essential to our healing. The meditation reads, when I am feeling lazy, I will recognize the necessity of doing nothing. I am learning to embrace laziness and just be. August 4th. Life is a shipwreck, but we must not forget to sing in the lifeboats. A quote from Voltaire. Life is a shipwreck. terrible tragedies happen all the time, most notably the deaths of people we love. Alas, this is so very true. But there are lifeboats. There are people and experiences that can save us from sinking along the wreckage. There is help for our profound grief. And once we're in the lifeboats, we can not only cry, we can sing. After we've been rescued from drowning in our grief and we're bobbing in our lifeboat, still traumatized but relatively safe and warm, we can choose to celebrate the fact that we and the others in the lifeboat are still alive. We acknowledge and embrace the loss, and then we learn to celebrate what remains. The meditation reads, "My life may be a shipwreck, but I can choose to sing in the lifeboat." Please share, subscribe, like, and remember that even in your grief, you are not alone.